And the issue that I want to raise is the issue of the trafficking of Ukrainian people, particularly unaccompanied Ukrainian child refugees at the border areas. And this is happening in Poland, it's happening in other countries where Ukrainian refugees are fleeing to. This has been raised with me by two NGOs who work globally on modern slavery, Walk Free and the Global Fund to End Modern Slavery. It's a sad reflection on human nature that the very point where these women and children are fleeing Ukraine for their safety to find refuge elsewhere, the criminal gangs have moved in to make money from the trafficking of what they consider to be yet another commodity, that is human beings. And they are attempting to make money out of this human distress and vulnerability. The human traffickers moved in within a day or so of refugees starting to come across the borders. And we have seen the photographs at the border. We know that the numbers are such that this can be chaotic. And it is very difficult. There are many unaccompanied children coming over, not necessarily orphans, but children who may not just have their family with them when they come in. Some of those children don't have papers. The Polish authorities, I understand, are making valiant efforts to look for papers, to find papers, to photograph children, to find some sort of record of the children, to identify them. But what we know is that there is no database, there's no real means of that identification and tracking of what is happening to those children. It's been suggested a database is needed, and efforts I know are being made to encourage the tech companies to help and do so quickly by creating a database that can identify and track these children to make sure that they are not unidentified and there is not the opportunity for the criminal gangs to be able to take them away without anybody knowing that they've been there or where they're being taken. So my first ask for ministers is whether they will now work urgently with UN agencies, the European Commission and the tech companies to find a resolution to this issue, to put in place a system that means there can be no unidentified children left to the mercy of the traffickers. The other need is to deal with the criminal gangs. Europol and Interpol almost certainly need to be involved here, as do the various police and law enforcement agencies across Europe. There will be an absolutely key role for our National Crime Agency. I believe they should be taking the lead in this, and I would say to the Minister that I hope that the Home Office, if they haven't already done so, will be taking up this issue with the National Crime Agency and making sure that they have the resources that they need to be able to deal with this issue, and that the NCO and the Home Office recognise the urgency and importance of this issue of the trafficking of these children.